Ruth, I wonder if you could give us some insight into the challenges of being a fairly new business school dean?
Okay, well, I've only been in the post for nearly a year now, and I think it's an interesting time to come into the role of a dean of a business school, especially with the government white paper in the UK being launched in June this year. Clearly, we're looking at student expectations being different when the fees are much, much higher. I think that's quite important to ensure that all the services and the academic staff consider student expectations very strongly and work towards how we manage those very effectively for this level of student experience. I work in a building that's quite an old building at the moment, and we have quite a lot of staff morale issues. Probably because of the building, the environment, but also because of the uncertainty with the government white paper. So I think managing morale is very, very important. Another area is trying to manage how we can ensure a research culture continues. I work in a new university, and obviously we want to ensure that we are able to continue our research even though government funding is changing on research. And so we need to embrace business, we need to bring in more enterprise to be able to afford the research, or really to invest in the research that we do, so that I can get good staff in, underpin the teaching in that way as well.
Okay, and in terms of diary management, how do you manage your time and your energy?
Well, that's quite an interesting one. It's a little difficult at the moment for me because I have many roles outside of Manchester Met, such as I'm the chair of the Academy of Marketing on the ABS board, I'm a senator of the Chartered Institute of Marketing as well, and also I'm on a training course at the moment for new deans. But I think that the one way that I'm doing it is I'm restructuring the faculty so that we can ensure that there are strategic roles that my heads hold, and therefore hopefully manage the whole process in a better way than we're doing at the moment.
Okay, and how do you switch off from being a dean?
Oh, well, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's not easy because I take my BlackBerry everywhere with me, and I always answer my BlackBerry so they don't pile up. But I do turn it off after a certain time when I get in at home. And I have a grandchild, so I enjoy my time with the grandchild. Also collect antiques, very much interested in antique French dolls and Art Deco jewellery. So I try to go to an antique fair every weekend, at least one. That's my treat.
Okay. And finally, any advice to someone starting off as a dean or aspiring to be a dean?
Well, I think it's very, very important to keep the enthusiasm. All things around you are changing, but as long as you do the best that you can and try your hardest, listen, be collegiate, take advice, very, very important for your staff. Lead, make difficult decisions after you've taken good advice, undertaken good research, and that will really help, I think, as a new dean. I lack confidence sometimes, but I never show that. I try and build myself up in certain ways, especially if I've got a very difficult meeting to get through, and play a role. But I think the key thing is to take people with you, with your enthusiasm and the way that you operate in a collegiate fashion.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.